Miles, you make some excellent points about the internet. Just last week, my sister and I were discussing what we thought was the greatest invention of our generation, and we both came to the conclusion that the internet was the greatest invention. But at the same time, I think it can also be said that it is the most paradoxical invention of our generation and possibly of all time for the reasons that you listed and the hidden dangers that are lurking around every corner. But I think that is pretty historical with every great invention that has benefited humanity. You look at automobiles and the way they completely revolutionized the transportation infrastructure and business, but at the same time, tens of hundreds, if not thousands, of people die in automobile accidents every day. And with the invention of flight, that completely revolutionized transportation times even further by decreasing the times. But lately it seems like every other week you hear about a horrible, tragic plane wreck and about hundreds of people dying. I'm not quite sure what you meant by embracing every social opportunity before the internet. If you're referring to long distance communication, then I agree with you. I believe that we did embrace every opportunity before the internet via long distance because of the very mystery that surrounds the initiation of that contact. Let's say you got a mystery letter in the mail, you didn't know who it was from. The only way you could find out more about the sender is if you replied to that person. Back then, before the internet, we didn't have MySpace, obviously. We didn't have Facebook. We didn't have Twitter. There was no convenient means to find out more evidence about the person that initiated the contact. We as human beings strive to feed our curiosity, but if you're referring to local communication, I don't know if I necessarily agree with you, because even today in the offline world, we still judge those who we meet in initial contact. A really great example of this is the first time we start school. That's when you first make your original friends, and you choose who those people are, and they choose you. They either accept you or they deny you. And that, I think, holds true even today, not necessarily with school, but in other social realms as well, just meeting people without the medium of the internet as the means of initial first contact. As to where to draw the line, I believe that's different for everyone. As I said earlier, the internet has hidden dangers lurking around every corner, and the same can be said about the offline world as well. There's always going to be people that want to murder, there's always going to be people that want to rape, always going to be people that want to scam people out of millions and millions of dollars. That's always going to happen, that's always going to be there. Unfortunately, there are sick people like that out in this world, and whether or not they use the internet is really irrelevant. The fact is that that destruction exists, and it exists just as much in the offline world as it does in the online world. We just don't hear about it as much in the offline world because our society is so entwined nowadays with the World Wide Web that it's become basically our infrastructure. So I believe where we draw the line is just up to the person, and it's more or less just being cautious about that first contact and determining whether or not to take it to the next step or ignore the first contact altogether, depending on the situation.